Right, everybody, I want to talk Erik Ten Hag and the future of him. There's been some huge breaking news over the last couple of hours that Erik Ten Hag should be staying at Manchester United. It's coming in from Sam C reports that Manchester United sources has confirmed that Erik Ten Hag will be staying. He understands that the standard of the job is not up to date, but he believes he can turn it around. Listen, ultimately, it's good confidence from Ten Hag to say he can turn it around, but really, can he do it? It's going to be very, very tough for Manchester United now to kind of, it's down to Ten Hag really to prove that he's the man for the job. I think if we do have another run of poor performances, ultimately will lead to him getting sacked. But at this moment, he's on holiday. He's going to come back early next week to start preparing for the Brentford game, which is a huge game. Every game from now for Erik Ten Hag is it's going to be labelled as his final game, so we need to really start getting some momentum, get some patterns to play, and ultimately I think Erik Ten Hag can do that. I think there's still some things that he has to get right. His best team, he needs to be playing a consistent team. It looks like every game he changes centre-back partnerships, midfield, attack, like just keep your consistent team. Yes, make rotations, but that core 11, your best 11 you should have. Erik Ten Hag doesn't know what he's going to do. For me, the start of the season he made some very poor decisions. Ugarte, a £60 million signing, in the last 2 games for United, didn't get a minute. He's starting players who he's kind of relied on before in Eriksen, Casemiro. His attack, he doesn't know what he's doing game from game. Like Rashford, Garnacho, who's he going to take up? He doesn't know. The captain, like he just needs to make these decisions better and more. Just more like be a bit more ruthless. If you need to take off a player who's not performing well, your captain, take him off. Like ultimately, he wants us to succeed. We want United to succeed. So it would just make sense if he makes the correct decisions. Now, INEOS, listen, that meeting that they had yesterday was always scheduled. It was a scheduled meeting. It happens every month. There'll probably be one next month. There was probably one last month talking about Erik Ten Hag. I think a lot of pressure was just on it because of the performances of Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag to really make a story out of it. Obviously, they would have discussed Erik Ten Hag's future in that meeting, but I don't think it was about sacking him. It was all about the future. Obviously, Erik Ten Hag speaks with kind of the INEOS ownership all the time, so he will have some inclination if he was to get sacked. Ultimately, for me, it's a decision that will take a lot of time. I think he'll definitely get to the end of the season. If he makes it to the end of the season, if he has a few good performances and keeps us going. But it is really, really tough. If you look at the competition that we're trying to win and the aim for the season, for me, it should be top 4. Maybe Europa League, maybe the FA Cup. They should be trophies. All the trophies which you're competing for, we should be trying to win the Europa League. Top 4 as well. Listen, we ain't going to win the league. That's impossible. But top 4, getting us in the Champions League, winning the Europa League would be a big statement. It'd be a huge sign of progression. We've gone from Carabao Cup to FA Cup to Europa League. That'd be huge for Manchester United and Ten Hag. So it's looking right now that INEOS are going to keep Ten Hag, and that is kind of the big story kind of being reported at this time. I think it is weird to kind of say that, but because obviously there was a lot of focus on Erik Ten Hag getting sacked by the media, and a lot of fans wanted him to get sacked. Now obviously it's time, if he does stay, which he probably will, I think against the Brentford he will probably be the manager, then we really got to support him. And listen, it might be the few toxic fans who obviously don't, but you can understand why that will happen. But listen, against Brentford, full support. I think that's what we can do, back him. If we can get another trophy to more silver, really start to see progression, because we know Erik Ten Hag can turn it around. It's just weird to see the Erik Ten Hag was seen at Ajax to the Erik Ten Hag now is just completely different. It's a huge contrast. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that is kind of the latest news. Erik Ten Hag is set to stay at Manchester United, with him thinking that he can turn this job around, but he's going to have to work immensely hard to get these players playing a very, very different brand of football. When United are not doing the basics correctly, it does kind of show you everything you need to know, and there are some huge warning signs there, so we need to be very, very, very careful with what Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United do, because we will struggle otherwise. And I think the issues will ultimately show if we don't. We've got huge games. We've got Carabao Cup. So we come back, we got Brentford, then we got Fenerbahce. I can't remember who we have. I think West Ham, and then we got the Carabao Cup game. So 4 big games for Manchester United. They could really probably determine Ten Hag's future. I mean, I think if we win the next 5 games, which it is possible. I mean, listen, Brentford, they were a good team, they're on form, but I think on their day, United can beat them. I think we're at home as well for that. Fenerbahce, listen, is going to be a tough away from home, but United have the better quality for me than Fenerbahce, but we'll preview as we get closer. West Ham, listen, they're a team on great form, but I think United can beat that one, definitely, but not by the way that we're playing now, so we do have to change. And Leicester in the Carabao Cup, definitely we can. They're a decent Premier League side, but I think we're better than them on paper. We're at home as well. Should be a game that we will win. So, listen, you're looking at the next 4 games. They're easily winnable games for Ten Hag, but we just have to play well. We've got to really get the identity, the passing, the creating chances, converting chances, play more as a unit rather than single individuals, and I think we will do that. But let me know your thoughts. The latest is INEOS are set to keep Ten Hag, and that's what we are reporting. What we literally discussed for the last, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, so yeah. Let's see what happens. Thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy another news video. Check out the video on Johnny Evans as well. I talked about that in a bit more detail than him and whether he should be starting. Thanks for watching. Peace.